Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Vegetarian Cooking with JJ. For this week's episode, I'm making Hamantashen pizza bites. For one of the options, I'll be making a pesto, and I'll show another option as well. And these are going to be gluten-free. Now, I know that Purim just passed, but let's keep the fun rolling with these pieces of savory deliciousness. I'm really excited to get started and of course try them in the end. So without further ado, let's head over to the kitchen and get cooking!
First of all, I'm adding 1 teaspoon of active dry yeast to this bowl, and I'm adding 1 teaspoon of raw sugar. Add 1 cup of hot water. It should be 109 Fahrenheit. Give it a stir and allow the yeast to proof. And I'm going to be using our Dainty brand all-purpose gluten-free flour. In this mixing bowl, I'm adding 2 cups of gluten-free flour. And I'm adding 1 teaspoon of Himalayan Pink Salt. Mix it up so it's evenly incorporated. I'm pouring our proofed yeast mixture into our flour mixture. And I'm adding 1 tablespoon of our Greek olive oil. Stir it all up until you can knead it with your hands. Knead it for 10 minutes or so. Oil your bowl with a touch of olive oil. Don't overdo it. Coat the bowl evenly. Place your dough inside and cover it and allow it to rise for 1 to 2 hours. For this pesto, I'm using ½ a cup of flat leaf parsley, some fresh lemon juice, 1 tablespoon of vegan Parmesan, ½ a cup of walnuts, 4 cloves of garlic, 1 packed cup of fresh basil, and 1/4 teaspoon of cayenne. I'm using a 1/4 cup of Greek olive oil, and I'm adding all of our ingredients to the blender. Add some pepper and salt. And I'm going to juice this lemon here. I'm just juicing half of it. And I'll be using 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. And this blender wasn't exactly doing the trick. It is not a Vitamix after all. I had a little bit of water, 2 tablespoons worth. I decided to transfer the mixture into a food processor, which worked a lot better. What a relief! Our dough has been left for 1 hour, and I'm rolling it all out. Once you have it rolled out evenly, you can use a cookie cutter or a glass to create our round shapes. These are about 3 inches. And I've ended up with 22 regular size ones and a baby one.
This style of savory Hamantashen that I'm making will probably remind you of Italy. So we wanted to talk a little bit about the Jewish community located in Venice, Italy. The Jewish community is primarily located in an area known as the Jewish ghetto. Now, this area for quite some time was greatly segregated, and there were a lot of restrictions placed on the community at that time. This is due to a prevalence of anti-Semitism, which unfortunately there is currently today due to misinformation and outright ignorance. Now, I didn't want to get into all of that, but I do want to get into some of the positive pieces of life in the Jewish ghetto. And this includes Purim, of course. Simchas, celebrations, were enjoyed with much kavanah, spirit, and full hearts. And this piqued the interest of many, including non-Jews. There was an elaborate parade with costumes, masks, of course, and the Purim spiel was one that people would flock to. It was a must-see. Now, the original Purim spiel, that's the play, by the way, it cannot be found, the one from Venice. But they did find one from a nearby city, Mantua. This one is called The Comedy of Betrothal, and it's based on a Talmudic story of a master and his slave. Now, this is a comedy. It has some slapstick comedy, farcical comedy, mistaken identity with the disguises, and songs as well. In this story, the master bequeaths all of his worldly goods to his slave, except for one thing. I wonder what that was.
Add a little bit of pesto into the centers. Don't overdo it because we want to fold it into our triangle shapes. Add pieces of your sun-dried tomatoes. For some of the other ones, I'm using tomato sauce, just to mix it up. Add your vegan mozzarella on the pesto ones. Add your vegan sausages onto the tomato-based ones. And some scraps of cauliflower. I'm using some scraps of orange cauliflower. Try to form your triangle pockets. The best technique is try to fold in all 3 sides. Pinch them down on the corners. Make sure they're sealed. And you can brush the dough with olive oil. And I'm brushing our vegan sausages with olive oil too. Sprinkling our tomato-based ones with some oregano. Folding them up. And brush the dough with some olive oil. Don't worry if you made a mess. Our oven has been preheated to 350 and we're popping our Hamantashen pizza bites in our oven. They should only take about 12 minutes or so. Meanwhile, I'm assembling the other Hamantashen pizza bites. Our time is up for our first batch, so we'll take those out and put our second batch in. ready to serve them and try them, of course. Feel free to pair this with the dipping sauce of your choice. I'm using the Daya Ranch dressing, but I'm sure these are not going to need it.
It's that time again, everyone. I get to try our delicious Hamantashen pizza bites. If you're just tired of too many sweets, want to switch it up, Of course, they're gluten-free, so you're accommodating a lot of people. It's vegan, gluten-free, kosher. Here they go. It turned out nice. Gotta love the pesto. I used some Greek olive oil that our friend Stelios gave us. These ones I just made just for options, just in case there's someone who may not like pesto, but who doesn't like pesto? They must be crazy. If you want to use a vegan meat that's also gluten-free, the Big Mountain brand has a good amount. These are super easy to make. You can get the kids involved. They'll have a lot of fun with it. And of course, you can mix it up if they prefer their own toppings. They'll really enjoy that, I think. And by the way, if you don't want to use any vegan meat, another good alternative is mushrooms. I hope you had a wonderful Purim celebration. Let me know in the comments below if you made any good vegan treats, or if you plan on making these, feel free to share in the comments below. So there you have it, everyone, another delicious recipe to add to your recipe booklets. And remember, if you like this video in any way, shape, or form, hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to my channel, hit that little bell notification icon so you don't miss a single video. When you hit the bell icon, you'll get notified every time a new video pops up, so you don't want to miss it. This is JJ signing off, keeping things interesting in my kitchen and in yours. Bon appetit. Try some with some sauce now and try not to make too much of a mess. Mm-hmm.